What's going on, everyone? I'm going to walk you through how I plan out my month, and then I also like how I reflect on the previous month. Productivity is something that I take pride in. I want to be very productive and get as much shit done in the least amount of time as possible. I have a lot of things that are important to me. This helps me get the shit done. Basically, if you have a lot of things that you want to do, you need a place to put them. So me with filming content, with family time, with doing coaching, with working on courses, with managing the business, I kind of have days that I do certain things, and I use this $10 Walmart paper calendar. I'm sure you can get these on Amazon and stuff too. But I've been using these for probably over a decade. And I still use Google Calendar a lot to do my schedule and do events and different things. But this is more of like, I put this in my office. And so that way I see it often. Each day I cross the day off and I look at what was on there, what didn't get done, and then I move it over to the next day, etc. And this just gives me kind of a theme for the week, for the month. So if that sounds exciting to you, we're gonna dive right into it. So the first thing is, I tore the previous month off. And I got that drawn right here, okay? So at the top of the calendar, there's this notes area. These were my big goals for the previous month. One was like launch my Free Game with Crack podcast, and guess what? I did. So it's just a cool feeling looking back like a month ago, like what were your big goals? And that was a big goal of mine. And so it feels good to know, cool, man, I did that shit. So I don't have to write this month like, oh man, I never launched my podcast. I got to write launch podcast again this month. That was a whole month that could have happened. So I'm looking at that. Sweet. Drop at least 8 YouTube videos. Dropped the ball there. I think I dropped like 1, maybe 2. So struggling there. So that will definitely come over to this month. What else do we have? Finish and launch this music video course. didn't do that either. Launched the coaching program. We did do that. So that's good to know. If you guys didn't know, I do offer coaching. Links will always be in the description. Coach your crack in this thing. New content and ads for the recording studio and online mixing. I did do that. So there's progress right there. New content and ads for CD duplication, they will come out this month. So that's good to know. New content ads for music content course, have not done that. Land 3 big content projects. We are in the process of a couple of them right now. So, didn't fully land them, but flying 2, just haven't landed yet. That was good, Alyssa. You're supposed to laugh. But also, shit happens and priorities change, So this was at the beginning of the month, and I'm thinking, okay, these are the priorities for the month. But then as the days start happening, this pops up, this new thing becomes a priority, then these things get moved around. So as long as you're making progress, that's good. So now I'm gonna think, all right, what big things do I have for the month? And that's where I would write in this area up here. Warren Buffett said, if you have more than 3 priorities, you don't have priorities. So technically for me, it would be, I would say income, but it can be a bunch of different things in there, but like income, because this is a business, money has to be coming in. So I always set some sort of goals around income, like a number to hit for the month. Then it would be reverse engineering, like, okay, how the hell am I going to hit that? I need to reach out to this many people. I need to launch this thing. I need to start ads for this. I need to drop this, so I'll have different actions in there. After I have my big goals for kind of the month, now I start looking at my week. I like to have themes for specific days. So content right now for me is on Thursdays. One thing I could do is going on each Thursday and write content day, content day, content day. Ooh, this is my birthday. So that's another thing too, is you can forecast that you got some big shit coming up and that may throw off the schedule. So if that's my birthday, I may want to do my content day on Wednesday, the day before, in which that's probably what I will do. So I'm gonna write content day. And then 31st, you have content day. Then what other themes do you have? So I have a podcast and I aim to drop that every Friday. So maybe you're a music artist and you're dropping songs on Fridays or every other Friday. Your YouTube, you're gonna do a vlog on specific days. I would use this more as like a content calendar, a life calendar, a priorities calendar. So it's all just based around your goals and your habits. So one thing that you can do is ask yourself, what habits do you want to have? Write those down maybe on a piece of paper somewhere else or at the top or, and then you're like, okay, now I have these habits that I intentionally decided. These are habits that I want to have. So now you're taking them from a want or a dream or a hope or one day, probably, maybe. and you're actually going to make sure that they happen because you're putting them on your schedule. So this is how you can guarantee progress, is put the shit on your calendar, on your schedule, create a routine. I got a note from my wife. I love you. You're a beast. Things happen for us. You're awesome. You make shit happen. Just keep swimming. You know, so maybe you have somebody that loves and cares about you. And if you don't, I'm out here and I'm rooting for you. But if you do, you know, that's great to have in your corner. And if you don't right now, maybe you just need some more proof to show people, or you have to develop yourself and your character to be more convincing so people believe in you. Because what do they say? People only take you as serious as you take yourself. I take myself very fucking serious, and I have for a very long time. So it's only right that people take me serious. I think one of my pet peeves is when people treat me a way that doesn't align with me when I know myself. So, all right, back to the calendar. One cool, cute thing that you could do is, so just real quick, kind of pointing over there, I got a whiteboard and I got a bunch of different color markers. And what I used to do was I would also go to Walmart and buy like a $10 pack of pens, and it would come with like a green pen, a red pen, a blue, black, purple, different colors. And what I would do is I would use different colors for different things. So red is like, oh shit, and I would write all of my bills. So on the first, I'd write mortgage, this car payment, boom, car insurance. But I would go through all the days and write my bills, and I would also write the amount. So I may write on the 18th, capital one, and then whatever the amount is. And then on that day, I know I have to cross it off, and that means I paid it and we're good. Nothing's gonna be late, nothing is gonna be behind. So that's something that I used to do. Now I automate this digitally, but I still think it's very valuable to have like physical paper and write things down, because it's something in your brain. I don't know or have the study memorized, but I've watched so much self-improvement, personal development videos, and there's a power in like sitting down, getting rid of like the digital chaos and just writing out your shit. So I know it's good to use both. So I use Google Calendar, I use Google Docs, I have different notes on my phone and stuff like that, but it's still probably the easiest to have a physical pad of paper that I keep day to day as like a planner or to-do list, and I'll every night write out what do I want to do for the next day and cross that shit off. But again, this is more of like the month, and I would ask myself like, okay, when am I dropping YouTube videos this week? Well, let's aim for teaching tips, tricks, tutorials, something every Tuesday. So then I'll look at these Tuesdays and I'll think, what are some questions that I've got recently that I could answer in videos, and I'm gonna write those ideas down on these Tuesdays. So now when I'm coming to film on Thursday, I have ideas already in mind that will drop, you know, the following week. I'm about to do this right now, but I just wanted to document the process. The take-home message is I believe that there's a power in having a calendar and putting it in a place that you will see often, because if this is somewhere that you're not gonna see, it's out of sight, out of mind. But if this is like in your bedroom, if this is in your office, if you have one, so now you're just looking at this shit. You got it up on your wall, you're plotting. I spend a lot of time just looking and thinking and strategizing. And I'm looking at this like, okay, I have this coming up Tuesday, I have this coming up, this coming up. But it's exciting to me, at least, to forecast the month at the beginning of the month, or, you know, before the month even happens, and see like, that's exciting to know that a month from now, all of this shit is gonna be out and done. I'm excited for next month because I can see what I have planned. So I think a lot of people don't have a plan, and failing the plan equals planning to fail. So you gotta have a plan, and one easy way that you can do that is with this little, you know, $10 calendar. So hope this video was helpful. Links in the description. Subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. Crackland TV. We out.